All right, so what we're going to do today is I want to talk about getting out of debt. I do have some experience with this, pretty experienced actually. My wife and I right now are in the process of getting out of debt. We were about $220,000 in debt. We had a of 178,000, and we had the car payment of a little over 40,000, medical bills of around two, and then dentist bills was around 1,200. Then we had about about $2,000 in credit card bills. So you can see that bills were up there pretty well. Now, what I have learned, I think, with getting out of debt is that you have to be pretty focused. I mean, you have to be on the same page with your wife, or if you're not married, you have to have your mind pretty well made up, because for the next 2-3 years of your life, you're pretty much not going to be doing anything. So you're going to have to get creative. There's no way around that. You can sell stuff. That's a really fast way to get out of debt. We sold our house, so we got out from underneath the mortgage. We were paying $1,260 a month for the mortgage payment. We rent now a little condo, which is about half the payment. We rent this for $595, I want to say $595 for this little condo, and it's about half the size of our other house. So we went from about 1,600 plus to around 1,000, so a little over half the size of the house. And you can definitely tell, but one thing I've learned is that having an extra $600 a month is kind of a big deal. So I'm really glad for that. So we sold the house, and with the escrow refund and what we made off the house, we paid off the medical bills, and we paid off the dentist bills, and we paid off the credit card bills. So we were left with the car. When we got the escrow money back from the house, which was about, I want to say it was around 1,500-ish, and then my wife got a bonus from work where she had contracted through the university for a certain amount of time, and then every 6 months they give her a bonus that she works there for a year. So we got that bonus and paid down her car, so we were able to pay down a pretty significant amount on her car with the proceeds from the house that was left from the house and from escrow, and then her bonus. We paid down the car. So the car originally was at 40, and then over about a year we paid it down to around the 30s, and then so about 10,000 in a year. And then when we sold the house, we paid it down about another 10, so that put it around 20. We made another payment today for $1,800. So it currently today, the payment on what we owe on the car is $16,000. So we are down to $16,000 in debt, and we started a little over $220,000 about 2 years ago, I would say, is when we started really working on getting out of debt. So we are shooting to totally be out of debt May or June of this year. So, or I'm sorry, not this year, but 2020. So May or June of 2020, we should be totally out of debt. So we're really excited about that. And then her car payment is $630 a month, I want to say, for her car payment. So yeah, car payments are not cheap, not when you drive an Infiniti. So yeah, but the issue is, and we tried to sell the Infiniti, but the problem is that the depreciation on the Infiniti, plus the fact that we rolled a very stupid thing, you should never do this, but pay a stupid tax on something, right? We rolled her other car into it when we traded it in, her Camry, which we owed about twice as much as what the Infiniti was even worth. I mean, even at being at 16,000, I don't think her Infiniti blue books for 16,000, which is kind of an amazing thing. It's amazing how fast cars depreciate in value. So I can't even sell the Infiniti. If I could, and we could figure out some way to get her another car that wouldn't break down with her driving back and forth to Louisville, then we would. But I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. As soon as we can figure that out, we probably will do that. But if I can't figure out a way to do that, we're so close to paying it off, we're probably just going to pay it off. It's a really nice car. So we're probably just going to pay that off. But the thing with getting out of debt is you have to be on the same page with your spouse, and you have to just plug away at it. If you look ahead with me, when I look ahead into a year, I'm like, how am I going to do this for a year, consistently do this for a year? And if you look at it that way, it's kind of depressing. But if you say to yourself, well, if I can just do the right thing every time I get paid, just anything I have left over after the minimum is paid on my bills, if I can just I know I can do that and just suffer through to the next payday. If you look at it that way, just doing it every time you get a paycheck, I know I have enough gumption in me, control over me to do that, then you can do it that way. But if you're looking ahead like, oh my God, how am I going to do this in 2-3 years? It kind of is a little bit frustrating looking at it that way. So just look at it as making the right decision every time you get paid. If every time you get paid, you can discipline yourself just enough to hammer it and then be done with it and be creative with the remainder of your time, because you're not going to be going out and doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, you're going to have to focus really, really hard on it when you get paid and learn to live without money. You're going to have to. You're going to have to go for walks. You're going to have to learn how to read if you can. If that's not something you like, you're going to have to do stuff. Write, exercise, whatever. Just don't spend money. So yeah, pretty simple video. Hard to do, but it is doable. And I hope you like the video. Let me know if you're able to get out of debt.